the agriculture scenario is moving towards technology orientation. So mainly the advancement in remote sensing, GIS, drones, IoT, sensors with analytical tools like big data, then deep learning, and much feasible to apply technologies in agriculture. So the Agriculture Skill Council of India, it has taken lead in this angle, considering the gap of manpower. Now it is taking steps to come out with many courses on skill development in technology application, especially drones. So in this angle, really it is appreciable to have this webinar organized by ACE. The basic aspects of drones will be covered by the other colleagues in the webinar. So I'll be mainly concentrating on the introduction on drones and its application in agriculture. So to have a basic introduction to us, to our university, so from the Department of Remote Sensing, we are taking up a lot of research activities in soil from 1995 onwards. We are doing the soil. And we have now moved on to the digital soil mapping with deep learning and AI tools. And from 2004 tsunami onwards, yes.
Sir, your slides are not moving, and if you can put it on the screen share mode.
We have not been able to see any slides, please.
And sir, if it could be done on a slideshow mode.
Is it moving? Is it moving?
It's not moving.
Not yet. Not yet. Sir, I would also request if you can put in a presentation mode or a slideshow mode, sir.
Sir, kindly press F5.
Can I request everybody to mute themselves, please? Thank you.
I think there is some technical glitch. He would be joining us soon.
నా వాచ్ చూసినారా సుధా?
सही है भाई।
నేను పోయేస్తాను.
Yeah, there are some technical issues from Dr. Panelvan's side. Within a few seconds, he would be joining with us. I would request all of you to kindly keep your. Thank you.
Dr. Vandana, can we request the other speaker to present till the time the technical glitch is corrected?
Sure, Dr. Arya. Since I think there are issues, Dr. Penelope, since he joins us, so you can request our second speaker, who is from the industry background, and he is actually the OEM, who is actually into the manufacturing of all these drones and other things. He is Mr. Siddharth Mehta. May I request Siddharth Mehta to kindly come on switch on your video, please?
Hello. Yes, can everybody see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Siddharth. I think there are some glitches from our first speaker, Dr. Panivalan. So I would just request if you can initiate the session to just have an introduction of Mr. Siddharth. Mr. Siddharth Mehta, he is the founder as well as Mr. Siddharth is the founder as well as the director of the UAV Apex. So he has his education from the Australia, Sydney, and he has worked a lot in the Netherlands, in the agriculture drones and other areas of the UAVs. And he is the person who actually believes in making India stuff. And he has been working and he has to provide the reliable services and maintenance of drones and UAVs operated by the Coast Guard. Now, this company is into designing and manufacturing of carbon fiber parts, and his consultancy is into the drone systems. So it would be a great hearing from us. So let's have a benefited presentation from him. Mr. Siddharth, over to you.
Very small presentation. So, thank you for the lovely introduction, Dr. Vandana. And yes, I do support Make in India, not because just to make in India, but to make something cheaper or of better quality. So that is the motto. And with that clear, we shall start. So uses of drone in agriculture, I was hoping Dr. from TNAU would cover this, so I don't have to do it, but I'll just briefly go over it again. So pesticide spraying in plant protection. That is the biggest use of drone as of now, and it's established, not something new or that we have not seen. It is well outside of India since 2013. Irrigation monitoring, that is also a part of a similar drone. We use an RGB camera and can easily map out that the water that is being used to irrigate the field is evenly laid out. It's not getting clogged or logged at point A or point B, and all the crops and the roots receive equal amount of water. Crop damage assessment and field soil analysis is done by a fleet of multispectral drones. How these drones work is that they analyze and receive the electromagnetic wavelengths reflected from the leaf and the soil of the particular area. And by analyzing them, every chemical or every element has a different reflective index. So by analyzing them, we can get exactly the chemical breakdown for each individual chemical. So maybe certain fields have more potassium and certain other have more nitrogen. So with field soil analysis and the use of multispectral drone, we know and we can plant exactly the crop that we need. So we can minimize the fertilizers and we can have a better soil growth and not tarnish the soil at the same time. Livestock tracking is, it's starting to see in more towards hilly areas using drone. So how it works is that you must have seen in movies and film outside of India, like Canada and Australia, where the cattle has a green tag on their ear and a drone which communicates to that tag. It's a batteryless tag. It doesn't have any electronics. It just emits RF, it reflects an RF frequency. And by tracking that, the drone will know up to 100 meters where the cattle is. Surrounding that, they will know exact location, the temperature of the cattle, and if it's in distress or not. Seed plantation is similar to spraying, where we have drone flying with seed and spraying across a field, which is mostly done again in hilly areas, because on a flat land, most people prefer to plant seed manually. So talking about the industry standards, as of now, how we can see the way the industry is moving to the optimal solutions that A 10-liter drone is the most optimal. It can cover approximately 10 acres per hour, gives with a flight time of 28 minutes in full load, and 10-liter capacity with the batteries can be recharged within 30 minutes. Again, these are high capacity Korean batteries. That's why they support such fast charging. So we don't need to carry 20 or 10 different sets. With just only 3 sets, we can have a continuous operational process. 7.5 liter per minute space, that is also adjustable, but this is the maximum which the drone is required. Generally, when we are spraying the field, don't exceed 5.5 liters per minute. Suitable design is, might mute the audio.
అక్టోబర్లో 2,42,000
Dr. Vandana?
Kindly mute your microphone.
Everyone to kindly mute yourself.
I'll just wait for a minute or so till everybody is muted. Okay, so the last is foldable design so that it doesn't get damaged during transportation or storage. So taking a look at comparison between traditional or what we call the conventional ways of spraying versus precision spraying and farming. Canopy coverage. With drone, when the propeller is spinning, we have forced induction air going across the crop. Not only they blow the canopy, the dust from the canopy, but also the spray gets deeper canopy penetration as compared to just spraying blindly by a tractor which just throws water and mixed with medicine on the crop. Dose management is something we can fine tune and control with a drone rather than blindly spraying with a tractor. We can set in the app how much exactly we want the medicine to per plant or per acre of the crop. Again, water saving with drones is we use generally 10 liters of water per acre, and in traditional ways we need anywhere from 200 to 500 liters, and we need to dilute the medicine with so much water. Treatment time is again very important. As a manual sprayer, one person needs about 5 or more hours to cover 1 acre properly, and tractor can cover 1 to 2 up to 3 acres per hour. Drone can cover faster. Obviously, it flies at 45 kilometers per hour, covers a width of 3 meters, and can easily cover. Sorry, and it can easily cover 3.5 minutes in 1 acre. Treatment time, quality of spray. Obviously, if you are just drenching the plant completely top to bottom with a conventional method, it's not really good for the crop, as sometimes leaf is drenched and the plant can't breathe properly. But with the drone, we have ultrasonic nozzles and sonar and atomizing nozzles, which is again suited for plant to plant. Like if you're spraying on tulips and lilies, like a flower-based crop, we use atomizing nozzle. If you're spraying on agriculture crops like edible crops like wheat, rice, then we use a centrifugal nozzle so that we have wider canopy and quality of spray. Yes. Chemical utilization is also less, as less chemical is wasted in the air from spraying manually. Safety, again, this one is a big factor for me, because when I initially saw how the spraying was being done here, is that a human would attach a backpack, generally 30 or 25 liter of basically poison mixed with water on the back, and would go out and spray 6 hours in one day, which obviously causes a lot of health problems down the line. Not immediate death, but certainly the quality of life goes down. And if you can imagine, if someone's spraying 6 hours a day, every day, they will have lung problems like lung cancer, skin cancer within 5 years. Use of aerial sprayer eliminates all of that. Adaptability is again concerned with the type and the area of the field. Difficult for farmers. It's difficult for farmers to work in wet farms like paddy, in steppe farmland, and hilly areas and mountain. A drone with a terrain radar sensor and an obstacle avoidance sensor can easily cover all of that within the same time, maybe half a minute more or less. Dependency on labor. When you see our farm is infested, you have very few days, probably less than 6 days, to go out and get labor and arrange people, arrange everything, and have them spray. With the use of aerial sprayers and drones, this is eliminated as it's a one-man operation, and more land can be covered quickly than any other way. Yield is again a big factor, as we don't need to leave space in between the farmland for the tractor or the people to move. This gives us more land to harvest our crop. Moving on to manufacturing and production, it may seem intimidating using or making or maintaining a drone at first sight, but it is not. Through the years, it has become really simple, and with a constant change in and advancement in technology, this will only get easier. How we started by making parts, not drones. So we make the landing, we make the carbon fiber sheet. This is a vacuum mold in-house, so we have our own design. Then again, we use a lightweight, high-quality aluminum to make landing gear, landing strut, instead of using hydraulics and complicated parts. The arm, the hands and the arms are made by rolling on carbon fiber dipped in a proprietary resin over a titanium rod. Again, this is our canopy mold, our canopy design NCF. This is the most common one we will see. Moving on to business potential for the spraying in particular. So here I have a list of commercial cost calculation where we have taken the price of the drone, price of the vehicle, charging her total battery cost. This is 6 sets, as in 12 batteries. One drone uses 2 batteries, a single drone uses 2 batteries for safety purpose, which is a mandated, and I abide by the rule that it's necessary. Pilot salary, let's say helper also we could, which is not needed, but this is a worst case example. Pilot license, yes, I know that good people at Agriculture Skill Ministry are working for free license, at least for agriculture drones, to train people. But currently, the license costs 65,000 INR, and a few days ago, DGC announced 12 more drone institutes across India who are authorized to give license for operating drones anywhere up to 150 kilos. We'll account petrol as well, just in case, given a budget of 10,000 petrol. Maintenance would be around 5% of the total cost. And insurance is currently less than that, but we have taken per year, it's 40,000. In total, it would come just shy of 19 lakhs. So we'll take maximum working days per year is 300 by taking 25 days per month, multiplying by 12. And battery life cycle for batteries is 300. Per battery, like for one cycle, drone can cover around 2 to 4 acres. We have taken 3 years average. In one day, drone can cover about 30 acres. Again, this is also a shy estimate. Acres per year, if we work 6 to 8 hours daily, as in 25 days a month, approximately 9,000 acres. Cost is come down to 189 rupees per acre. If we spray with this business model, after accounting for everything you see here. So talking about ROI, minimum anyone would charge for covering 1 acre of spray, 1 acre of land. Again, this is also the minimum for different crops, different plantation. Let's say cocoa plant versus wheat, the price will be different. For the same for banana plantation and lilies or other flowers, these have higher pricing, but this is the absolute minimum one would charge for spraying. Our cost is 189 rupees. If we work 300 days, which is again the absolute max we have taken, 9,000 acre, net revenue would be around 45 lakhs. 6 sets of batteries would cost 3,30,000, and including our previous cost was just shy of 19 lakhs. The initial investment, the maximum we need, that includes a car, transport, helper, everything. We are still remaining with a net profit of 26 lakhs in total. And the ROI, generally, if you just to cover the cost, it's about 2 to 4 months on such equipment for plant protection. This is just about spraying and plant protection through medicine. Moving on for a different kind of drone, again for agriculture use, is multispectral drone. These drones analyze the soil and will give you data in this format. It will tell you where the nitrogen is high, where the water is stagnant, the elevation, everything you need before laying your crop, selecting the particular crop, selecting the particular seed, and making sure which goes where. There is this use. The plant protection and the spraying drone comes after the crop is planted. There is a new type of drone also, which is not being used as much as currently the technology is not matured enough. These are called shepherd drones. I want to mention it because in a couple of years, we see these also in the market. Shepherd drones are used to herd sheep and cattle from farm to farm or for grazing. So if you have more cattle, like 5,000, 4,000 animals, and you want them to move from certain area to certain area, these type of drones have a high-pitched ultrasonic sensor emitter, which emits very high-pitched noise, which is inaudible by humans, but is very tedious to animals. It won't hurt them, but it annoys them, so they move in the opposite direction. Using this, we can guide and shepherd the goat, sheep, cattle, cow, any kind of farm animal. Even chickens will respond to this, so that they are kept in an area and easily manageable by one person. So now all is well and good till now. So we must have some challenges. Then first challenge is uniform distribution and spraying. That is its effective application. Now we need pesticide board to sign off on this. That as of now, they have signed off on all organic use in the field by drone, but they are still collecting data and they're doing a good job at that. But we would need to wait about 6 to 8 months more so that the pesticide boards can sign off, and the use of chemical fertilizers with drones in particular field, given the crop quality, the soil, the landscape, etc. Instability in government politics, policies, and regarding drone. So we get a lot of call here, and the farmer asks that, okay, now the government has made the drone legal and I can use it, but previously it was banned. How do we know that in future it won't be banned again? What if it's banned? If I invest so much, 6.5 lakhs in a drone, how would I know that my investment is safe? So I'm not talking about here what the government policy should be. That I leave to respected officers who are in charge of such. But my request is that if once it is finalized, it should be fixed. It shouldn't be changed every 1 to 2 years. That would just leave loss of confidence among people. Technical knowledge of farmers needs to be improved. I know many KYK centers and universities are working day and night, including some private companies also, day and night to inform the farmer. And the biggest challenge we have is that most farmers, they refuse that my field will not be, that if I spray 10 liters, I will get infestation. So we need to acknowledge that and teach the farmers that 200 liters is not the solution. The future moving forward is 10 liters or less per acre. The less, the better. Availability of technical people to farmer for repair and service. Again, this confidence can be increased by more people through and through who are growing the community in drone spraying and offering services. Because not every farmer can afford to invest right away in such expensive endeavor for buying a drone and using it. So there have been a lot of companies that have come up who are buying or making drone and then offering the service to farmers. They will come to the farmer, they will carry the medicine, they will spray at a nominal charge. The farmer doesn't have to buy or do anything. High operational cost, yes, but high operational cost compared to what? It is compared to a person who is buying like a 15-20,000 electric backpack with a 25-liter capacity going and spraying manually. We can't say cost as in it's high or low unless we have a comparison. Now, for aerial spray, the closest comparison we have is the Robinson R22 helicopter, which again costs 2.5 CR and which is feasible for farmers in Canada, Australia, and other developed countries, because Robinson comes with a 58 or a 60-liter tank, and it covers a great canopy. But in India, we can't use that because the farmlands are scattered around places and generally are from 20 to 40 acres. So coming to government support, as I mentioned, the problem was in policies, but as we have seen now, and we are in touch with DGC and DGFT, they have they are creating guidelines which will be here for at least the coming 10 years. And hopefully that would increase investor and farmer confidence. Pesticide board is currently working already since last 2 years. I know, including the TNAU University, that they are working on testing different medicine from different companies on different fields, matching with their climate, matching the soil quality and the previous nutrients used in that particular soil. Subsidy, there have been recently talks of subsidy up to 50% on drones, specifically on agriculture drones. So I believe in a couple of months, we'll have a clear understanding of how much government is willing to subsidize this technology. And the last is, again, this is something we need to change the farmer understanding and use of the drone and their mindset. A lot of universities again and KYK, Kendriya Vikas Center, are working on this, and with time this will also be improved. Yes, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Siddhi, for the wonderful presentation. So clearly you have actually indicated about, not only how the drone actually could be manufactured, it's not so difficult thing. And specifically you mentioned, because it is always a pain point for everyone, and everyone, whether he wants to get employed or want to become an entrepreneur, he wants to see the cost factor of that particular thing and the commercialization, which you have covered very well. And definitely what you have said that definitely we need to motivate, we need to make our people make our farming community convinced to adopt this technology in a cost-effective manner. So thank you very much for these points. So I would also like to ask, say my audience to kindly put all your queries on the chat box, so that this we would be taking at the end of the webinar. So stay with us. And I think Dr. Pannalivelan has already joined with us. Sir, please, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. So sorry for inconvenient cause. So I will continue my presentation. Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Are the slides moving?
Yes, they are moving.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. So as I have already explained, the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University is working on different geospatial technologies for soil monitoring, disaster, then land degradation mapping. Then now we are expertise in crop area mapping and yield estimation. And Tamil Nadu is the first state to introduce remote sensing based crop insurance as an operational service. So with this technology, every year we are helping around a minimum 5 lakh farmers. Now we are putting into the geospatial technologies to water resource monitoring. So recently, for the past 5 years, we are working in drones. So drones can be, as you know, can be used for mapping, then smart delivery of agriculture inputs. So I will restrict my presentations to drone applications, that too with our own experience in different applications. So drones, there are different types of drones. One is for mapping, another one is for application of inputs. So the first one is for mapping, we can have 2 types of drones. One is quadcopter, that is helicopter type. Another one is fixed wing. So in this quadcopter, they have the range of 50 to 500 meter, and the maximum, that is a height, 50 to 500 meter it can go, and the maximum range, that is 5 kilometer, up to 5 kilometer we can have it. We can have endurance from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. So mainly we are using this quadcopter type for crop health monitoring, that to the close range monitoring, especially pest and disease, nutrient deficiencies. In turn, we are aiming for precise application of inputs, precision agriculture. Then the second one, fixed wing, this has the capacity to fly up to a height of 1 kilometer, and we have this type of fixed wing drone which can fly up to 15 kilometer, and it can, the endurance is 60 to 70 minutes. So this is widely we are using it for large scale mapping and disaster assessment, especially during the disaster time. For example, cyclone, it will have influence in 50 kilometer on both the sides. If you use 2 to 4 sets of drones, we can cover it and give the precise information within 2 to 3 days, which will be very much helpful to the policymakers to push the relief. The third one is the spraying drone. There are two types, fuel operated, battery operated. So the fuel operated is the advanced one, which has the takeoff weight of 45 kg. We have this type of drone that it can fly up to 20-meter height, and the endurance is 3 hours. So this, we are mainly using it for spraying nutrients, organics, and plant protection chemicals. So as you all know, we have different types of sensors for mapping. So multispectral sensors, hyperspectral sensor. So multispectral sensors are widely used with the drones, having 3 to 6 bands, and the vegetation indices derived from multispectral sensors are widely used for assessing the stress, either it is pest or disease or nutrient stress, where to apply nutrient. So this variable rate applicator can be linked to these images. So there are different companies working on providing a multispectral sensor. The major ones are Parrot, MicaSense, and the Centrira. So the hyperspectral sensors, they have the potential to assess these different monitoring capacities, that is mainly on different types of pest and disease very sharply. So each and every, now TNA is working on identifying the effective wavebands to discriminate or to map the influence of pest or disease, whether the symptoms are visible or not. So many hyperspectral sensors are available, Corning, then Headwall, now it is taking off quite well, and Mjolnir. These are different hyperspectral sensor. Already the field ASD Spectra, ASD Field Spec Pro, that is available at the field level. So many sensors, hyperspectral sensors are coming up for with the drones, which can be used for mapping the crop stress or crop fields, for discriminating crops, identifying stress, input, effective application of inputs. So the drones have the potential in agriculture in many ways. So first one, crop monitoring. That is, what is the type of crop, what is the crop growth condition, what is the health, and what will be the yield, and what are the damages in case of especially the disasters. For example, floods, where humanly it is very difficult to reach the interior areas, which can be easily mapped. Then crop health assessment, pest and disease monitoring, then agriculture spraying. Now, the lot of potential has been identified in the field of agriculture spraying, for which Tamil Nadu Agriculture University is working out to come out with the standard operating protocols as that of manual spraying for different crops, different chemical, different inputs. Then the seed and granule dispersal. So one way we can spray, another one we can disperse the seeds and the granules with these specifically designed the centrifugal type drones, which can disperse not only fertilizer granules, pesticide granules, then the seeds also. Especially it is very much useful in direct seeded rice. Then the disaster impact assessment, water resource monitoring, farmland boundary. Now the drone application has a lot of potential in this field, because the new scheme the government of India has introduced, Samikta, with the help of Survey of India, they are making the farmland boundaries at the village level. So it has a lot of potential for coming out with the digital farm boundaries linked to many applications. So this is the base thing that can be done with, very precisely with the drones. And the latest one is the 3D geo information. So especially it is useful in assessing mainly for AI as well as the damage assessment to plantations and building. So the challenges, it has been well explained, especially the knowledge and skill of the farmers as well as the persons who are using. That is the lacking factor, which now the Agriculture Skill Council of India is taking up, and it is coming out with the courses. So it is better to have a wide range of trainings through KVKs and the agriculture universities and other NGOs with the help of the skill development training. Definitely the knowledge is there. Only we have to develop the skills of the farmers in understanding and executing the things. Then defining the parameters of spraying in the absence of specific formulation. because here in India, we don't have specific pesticide or fungicide formulations to take care of drones. So in that case, with the conventional chemicals, how best we are going to standardize this application? So whether we have to adjust the spray volume or concentration, which should not be either sublethal or creating phytotoxicity. So this is the critical parameter. Even this insecticide board, ICR, DGCA is very much concerned whether when you increase the concentration, whether phytotoxicity is there. When you reduce the spray volume, whether it is sufficient to kill the pest or disease. Then the initial cost of purchase now, when compared to 5 years back, now it is coming down a lot, and even it will become very much cheaper. So now at 3 lakh rupees, you can get the drone with 2 pilot license also. So legal aspects that now many DGCA regulations are coming in favor of farmers, and the interference with the airspace connectivity. These are all the minor factors. So, and in case of mapping, we need the quality software. That is the challenge. So the application aspect, first one is the crop health monitoring. So we can assess the greenness, chlorophyll content, then the biomass and the yield also. So potential yield and the actual yield we can estimate. And now lot of applications are going on in selecting the phenotypes. And we can also assess the crop health, height, and the plant count, everything through the drone sensors. For assessing the crop health, there are we have come out with many indices, vegetation indices. So those indices can be effectively used for crop monitoring as well as stress reduction. So this is one case, that is pest and disease monitoring, rice BPH damage assessment, where the physical damage can be easily estimated with 3D geo information from the drones. So this is a case where the BPH yield loss was assessed to be 11%. And we can exactly mark the area. We can go for precise application through which we can reduce the quantity of dumping of pesticide, as well as we can avoid the environmental hazards through the pesticides. So these are the different types, fixed wing, quadcopter. So the first one, fixed wing drones are highly useful in large area mapping. So this is, we can operate it by hand throw. So this is the image capturing, where we are going for more than 70% overlapping, which is very much useful for 3D mapping. So the second one is the spraying drone. You can see this is a fuel operated one, and it can cover 1 acre of area in 2 to 5 minutes. So depending upon the spray volume. For example, nutrients, we need more volume, spray volume. Whereas in case of low dose, high efficient pesticide, fungicide, we need only lesser quantities are sufficient. So that we are conducting research on standardizing the things. So here you see the herbicide applied plot. This is a non-selective herbicide. So you can see the uniformity. Uniformity can be greatly achieved through drones. So you can see more than 95% accuracy. It has been achieved with the help of uniformity in spraying. So here we have used the atomizer nozzle, which have the droplet size of less than 130 micron. So this is one way, one application, that is we can control the weeds by using drones for spraying the herbicide. Another one, the fall armyworm. So fall armyworm, it is an invasive pest which has caused a lot of damage to maize. So where we have standardized, we have come out with the drone spraying protocol especially, and we have demonstrated at the farmers' fields also. So when you are going for this type of standardizing spraying, you should come out with the different features, that is spray dynamics as well as the spray volume. So one is spray fluid. With the fuel operated drones, we can restrict it with, we can go up to 30 liters per acre, so that 75 liters per hectare. And we have standardized the speed.
Request to kindly mute.
The delivery also we have standardized. So within this, within 1 or 2 months, we will be coming out with the standard operating protocols for spraying these things. The spray dynamics, droplet size also, we have studied, and it is found to be in case of atomizer, more than 80% of the droplets, they are within 70 microns. So it is more advantageous that even with we can achieve more efficiency and the uniformity. So these are different applications. One is this fall armyworm with imamectin benzoate. We have standardized 80 gram per acre with 30 liters of spray fluid. We can control the imamectin benzoate, control the fall armyworm. So to take care of the insect, the second round of spray. So we have not only standardized the individual sprays, pesticide, fungicide for individual sprays, we have standardized, and now we have come out with the comprehensive protocol. For example, rice, 4 sprays. One is pre-emergence application of herbicide on 3rd day after planting, then pesticide spray to take care of sucking pest at 25 days, then to take care of leaf folders and stem borer at 45 to 50 days, then 4th one, nutrient spray. So our fungicide in case of grain discoloration is anticipated. So this is how now the TNAU is coming out with the comprehensive spraying protocol for each and every crop. So rice, 4 sprays, maize, what are all the sprays? Rice, maize, groundnut, sugarcane, then cotton. So these are the 5 crops we took in the first step, and now we are moving for the horticulture crops also. So tomato we have targeted for fungicide spraying as well as the Panchakavya. So this one is the spreading system, where it has the opening of 5 to 50 millimeter. So where we can disperse the seeds as well as the fertilizers. Mainly this now lot of farmers are going for direct seeding of rice. In that case, this direct seeding of using the drones will be much useful. And mainly in case of rainfed condition, the reaction time is very less. With the drones, we can cover in a quicker period, and we can help the farmers to catch hold of the soil moisture. So this is the cyclone damage assessment, which we have done it with the copter type as well as the fixed wing drones. We have exactly assessed the number of trees, that is 38 lakh trees were uprooted or damaged. So this one is the flood inundated fields and the lodging effect of floods on lodging of crops. Precisely, we can assess the damage which is passed on to the insurance for claim settlement. And this is water resource monitoring. So tank irrigation is a major source of irrigation, but the information on tanks are not available. So we have come out with the methodology, and now we are coming out with the 3D geo information and the water storage information for around 16,000 tanks, which has the capacity of 93 TMC. So for effective water resource monitoring, drones are one of the best tool to monitor. And the plantations, the spraying with the drones, it will definitely serve the purpose, because the farmers are physically facing the challenges, and it can also be applied for animal repellent. In case of inaccessible areas, even we can spray with the drones. So these are the applications. So in agriculture, lot of applications are there. Each and every field has its own. Even now we are going for drone-based dusting of pollen. So like that, many applications the agricultural universities are coping up and coming out with the standard operating protocols. So from the government side also, we are getting a lot of support. Now we have the Ministry of Agriculture has come out with the notification, and in future we will be getting the government institutes, definitely they will get the 100% or 10 lakh grant for the purchase of drones. So in case of FPOs, it is 75%, and even the custom hiring centers, they can get this the subsidized cost of the drones. So the financial aids and grants are going to come in a large scale, and the cost of the drones are also on the other side coming down. So with this information, definitely the farmers can go for large scale use of these drones. On the industry side and the research sector also, lot of scope to fine tune the things and go for large scale application, as explained by the previous speaker, for as on a business mode. So finally, to cope up with this lot of applications, what is the skill available with us? What is the manpower available with us? So definitely the agriculture universities, KVKs, they have to play a vital role besides our Agriculture Skill Council of India in developing the skill or inculcating skill in the rural youth. So now the awareness is there with the Indian youth and the reachability is very high with the availability of mobiles. So these drones can be easily operated with the mobiles, and we have to inculcate this skill development at different skills. So at the school dropouts, at the level of graduates and the level of postgraduates for research and development. So TNAU is already initiated this activity, and every year we are training 200 students with the drone technology, and they are using it, and they are even we are helping them to model a small drone so that they can understand the basic
Sir, you are not audible. Sir, you are not audible. Sir, we lost you in between.
Yes. So with the capacity, with the potential for application, with the advancement in the technologies, and with the availability of drones in a large scale, lot of companies have come up which can manufacture the drones or assemble it here itself with many technologies from outside countries. Then we have the potential, we have the scope, and now it is our responsibility to inculcate the skill on the rural youth. That also the Agriculture Skill Council, agriculture universities, NGOs, and the KVKs, they will take up this responsibility so that the drone technologies will help the resource poor farmers of India in moving towards a high-tech agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this eye-opening and enlightening session. I think this actually told us from the basics what exactly the research has been done in the drone applications, and how not only on the drone application, but under the various areas and standardization of the spray technologies, not only in the field crops, but in crop varieties, leading from the field crops to plantation crops and orchards, and even in the fruits and vegetable, all the horticulture crops. A big round of applause, Dr. Planivalan, the things you have been doing, a very great presentation. And also you have told us that this is not only the area where the only spray area where the drone application could be used. It could also be used in the crop monitoring and mapping of the services could be used, and we can lead it, and we can remove the challenges which the farming community can be having it. Thank you so very much. I would again request all the to kindly keep on putting your questions, all the queries in the chat box, so that we be addressed by our speakers at the end of the webinar. Thank you, Dr. Planivalan.
Thank you,
now,
Megan.
yeah, and thank you. And now I would request my next speaker, who is Dr. Shankar Goenka. Dr. Shankar Goenka, now we would like to hear the words of wisdom from him. He is the architect and the managing director of the Wow Factors India. Besides this, he is also an author. He is the person who has changing the persons. He is into the women empowerment. He has been actually transformational leadership, bringing the changes into the young India people. So I would like request Dr. Goenka to kindly share his words on these drone applications and how he can further the people could be motivated with his speech for taking up this particular drone in their
तो right now
venture
देखना बहुत
as an
confused हो जाता है
entrepreneur.
आदमी,
Over to you,
Thank-
Dr. Goenka.
उसको
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so very much. Good evening, everyone. How are you? देखिए मैम
Good
मेरा तो
evening, good
ये
evening, sir. We are all fine.
नमस्कार नमस्कार अग्निहोत्री साहब नमस्कार
सर
मैडम मेरा तो
तबीयत कैसी है?
तबीयत अब ठीक है सर गेटिंग अप तो थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड मैडम मेरा तो ये मानना है कि खुशियां तो तकदीर में होनी चाहिए तस्वीरों में तो हर कोई मुस्कुराता है तो पॉइंट ये है कि आई कुड सी सच एन एक्सीलेंट प्रेजेंटेशन बाय बोथ ऑफ माय पैनलिस्ट एंड थैंक यू सो वेरी मच मैडम मेरे को माय सजेशन टू टुडे सेशन इज I could see a lot of 140 people have joined. And I could see a lot of questions from both the presenters. So
Right.
they did a lot of, people are asking a lot of questions. And since this program is such where people have a lot of curiosity into their mind, so instead of making another presentation or a session, I would feel if you could take questions from them, and if all three of us could answer them, I would feel this would make more important session. But if you ask me to speak, so whatever is your choice, we can do that. Because I could see a lot of questions coming in from everyone. So our take, if you ask me what we do, so with the IFCO Fertilizers, the largest cooperative and world's biggest manufacturer of fertilizer, has invented a product called nano urea. So what nano urea do is, it replaces one bag of 45 kilo with an 500 ml bottle. So what you need to do, you need to add water into this. It takes about 125 liter of water and gets sprayed into the field. That is the regular feature. But with the drone, it needs only 10 liter of water. You put it into the drone and then you can spray it around. That is how it works. And it is giving out wonderful results. So at IFCO Fertilizers, what we did a whole back-to-back solution. Means we impart training, we give them product, we source drone and give it to them. And then we also give them the spraying pattern. So for example, there is Gujarat or say Haryana or say Chandigarh or Karnataka. So when we give, when the drone is been given to the farmer or the entrepreneur, we give them the whole spraying pattern. And we give all the production pattern that, okay, in this area, these many crops get every year. This is the spraying pattern from first to last, and that is how they can use it. So this is how it works. So then the sales, after sales service is there, then the spare part supplies is to them. So this is from a drone perspective. And to all my great audience, if you ask me how can I got connected, I have a very big social angle, and all the participants and listeners, my message to all of you is, this whole drone program has a very big social angle. In our country, madam, 58,000 people die due to snake bites in farmland. More than lakhs of people, they get infected due to inhale of these pesticides. When I was listening to doctor, India imports or India supplies or India use more than 63,000 tons of pesticides. When people use drone, the 25% volume would be reduced. So for example, in 1 acre, if anyone is using 1 liter, with drone spraying, you can use 250 ml less. So the cost will go down. The water cost will go down. It takes 5 minutes to 7 minutes to spray in one crop. So basically you are saving water, you are saving a lot of natural resources. And also, ma'am, when you see fertilizer, अग्निहोत्री साहब जब यूरिया खेत में छिड़कते हैं, so only 30% urea get used and 70% urea get wasted. So what basically happens, urea has got 46% nitrogen content. So if it touches soil, it damages soil. If it evaporates, it damages air and create pollution. If it touches water, it make water polluted. But when you do the spraying through drone, the best advantage is 20% only get not in use. 80% through drone, the urea or any pesticide get used. Also, I want to tell my audiences, because I'm not covering the technical part of it, that is what my fellow speakers has covered. But please remember, when you spray through drone, it get directly applied on the leaves and the leaves get clear. And when leaves get clear, it improves their photosynthesis. And when it improves photosynthesis, it absorbs better sunlight and the productivity goes up. I can help you with my documentation if anyone needs from me. I can share my email ID to all of you. And I have a very, like Professor says, we also did a lot of research. And since we have a pan-India presentation throughout the country, we can help you with whatever support you need from us. So this is what my takeaway is. It reduces water, it reduces your energy, it improves productivity. और मैडम जो सबसे बड़ी बात है, अग्निहोत्री साहब जो हमारा यूथ है, जो कि दिन भर मोबाइल पे लगा रहता है, यदि हम उनको ड्रोन की ट्रेनिंग देंगे, we make them entrepreneur. Funding is available. They would use their time in a much better and in a productive way. And I'm sure all senior people like Dr. Agnihotri and Dr. Perseverant, Dr. S. Dr. Divyaji, and I could see Dr. Vijay Kumar Saab, Dr. Arya Saab, everyone I'm sure want to get involved with this program and make India a newer India, a progressive India, and take our country to the next level. The whole world. Also, I want to tell all my participants, we did a training which we finished on 8th of December, 2021. And in that training, there were 40 farmers and entrepreneurs from different parts of the country. From 6 states, they came into us. On 8th December, they have written a letter to Prime Minister of India saying that drone is used for farm equipments. Kindly consider this equipment as a farm equipment and please announce a subsidy on this. Agnihotri Saab and Dr. Arya Saab will be very surprised to know 8th was Friday. 11th, this letter got submitted to Prime Minister office through IFCO. IFCO Fertilizer has submitted this letter. And sir, 17th January, within 36 days, Government of India has accepted this request and has given the subsidy and announced the subsidy on farm equipments. I personally feel, sir, the way Government of India is doing, the way Government of India is proceeding, the way Government of India would like to promote this, this is something big, big, big for our country. I'm sure n number of entrepreneurs will come and many companies will come. There's a lot of scope for production of this, and this will take us to the next level. Thank you very much. It would be open to questions if someone would like to ask question, and Madam can take it forward. So thank you very much for the opportunity giving it to me, ma'am. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Dr. Goenka. Thank you for such an inspirational lecture and just enlightening all of us at the end of the session. We said that this is not only a single man work to do. It is a collaborative work where research team is already doing the work. Industry has its own things of manufacturing the things and taking forward by the government into the policy frameworks and the regulations. And there also comes the part of into the skilling and upskilling the people, because merely developing the content and taking into further, it actually needs the human manpower, where the skilling comes into sector, and where Agriculture Skill Council of India is always there with an open hands to have collaborations with the research industries, with the implementation partners, and as well as with the state agriculture universities and all the industries who are into the drone applications, so that we may together take up it further into the more of the capacity building sector and have more trainings into the particular thing, so that the requirement of these drone applicators could be taken care of. Thank you so very much. So I think the time is already passing by, but we have a lot of queries. So the house is open. So I'll just ask some of the queries. So let me start. One first query I think we have was that can a single drone can be used for different applications in agriculture? So, Mr. Sidit, can you be able to answer these questions? I would like if you can take up this question.
Sorry, I was just figuring out. I couldn't hear you. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, there was one query from the audience. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Can a single drone be used for different application in agriculture?
Yes, it can be. But like for spraying drone, yes, generally spraying drones are bigger because they need to carry a heavier payload. For multi-splitter mapping drones, generally they are smaller. But yes, it can be done. It would be like, using a bazooka to kill a mosquito, but surely it can be done. How we do it is that we install the sensor for multi-splitter and the spraying on the same drone. So a single drone is doing both work.
Great.
So let me add.
Yeah, yes, please.
So I think they might have asked the question that is spraying and seed dispersal that way. So different operations, whether it can be combined. Yes, sure. This seed dispersal or granule dispersal, then spraying, all these things can be done with one single drone. Only we have to change the unit for the attachment. We have to change it.
Okay, thank you so very much, sir. So there is another query on the drift that any drift effect is there while spraying insecticides? Dr. Panalivelan, I would like if you can address this query. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Can you please repeat?
Yeah. So there is one query on the drift effect. Whether there is any drift effect if through drone the insecticides are sprayed on the field.
Yes, yes. So in case of these drones, the drift effect is maximum seen up to 2 meters only. Since it succumbs air to take off and fly, it is not that like that of the aircrafts where earlier we were using the spraying and other things. But now with these drones, the maximum is up to 2 meters. That too in case of the wind speed, if it exceeds 25 km/h. So whenever you have drones in operation, you should also measure the wind speed. If it is even for normal spraying also, we measure the wind speed. So we should be cautious. Other than that, there will not be any drift effect. So only in case of herbicides, you should be very careful and you have to maintain at least 2 meter buffer in the field, entire field. We can have a 2 meter buffer in the boundary.
I just want to add, everything he said is absolutely correct. It's just one more thing. Centrifugal and atomizing nozzles are coming up, which are targeted spray towards bottom, and they are generally installed under the propeller, which is swinging it. So with drift is about 0.3 to 0.5 meters. But again, they are expensive technology, and it's not required for every operation. Normal nozzles with 1 to 2 meter drift will work fine under 99% situation.
Thank you, Mr. Siddhit, and thank you, Nivela. One more question is there regarding the spraying below the surface in vegetable crops is a challenge. So how this drone address this issue?
Sorry, can you repeat? Spraying below?
Yeah. So there is a query that spraying below the leaf surface is a challenge in the vegetable crops. So how this drone application addresses this issue?
So how the drone spray works is a crop based. So like if you see in our model, the nozzle is directly under the propeller, and every time the propeller spins, it creates a wave of high pressure, low pressure, high pressure, low pressure. So this creates a turbulence, and when the spray is ejected from the nozzle, it's about 1 feet of difference from the origin of turbulence, that is the propulsion system, the motor, and the tip of the nozzle. It is flowing like this. It mixes with the turbulence and the waves of high pressure. It's flowing like this. So when it goes on the leaf, it tries to deposit, and obviously there is some deposit on top, but around 30% is also deposited at the bottom.
Mehtaji, sorry madam to interrupt. I'd like to add here, Mehtaji has given a technical point, whereas my personal experience, I am a service provider what happens because of the propeller air, the leaves get shaken and the spray gets on both the sides.
Yes, Agniji, because your drone has a slightly different configuration. The A1, A10 unit you have, that's a slightly different configuration for that suited purpose.
Yeah, thank you so much. And one more, there are so many questions. I think we can address all the questions. I think if they can share with us on our email ID, we will be trying to address this issue and share the answers with the respective audience. The last question which I'm just taking is that is any special license required to fly agriculture drone?
Yes. Currently, yes. If you're flying anything, any drone or anything more than 250 grams, the license is required. And there are approximately 12, I'm not sure, there are, I believe 12 institutes have been certified to give pilot license, and they cost about 60 to 65,000 rupees. Maybe doctor from TNU can add here. He would know more about the pilot licensing.
So in the first batch, they approved 10 institutes, and again 4 or 5 institutes they and the charge earlier it was 60 to 65,000. Now it has come down to 30,000 also. So it will come down in future also. But the license is must at present for agriculture spraying drone, remote pilot license.
Correct.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I think this session was very helpful to all the audience with the queries. And I think in the collaborative manner, we should take it forward. And we should do, because now the not only the research sector, but the now government has also given a go ahead with their flexibility in the various with the various regulations and the various subsidies and the various Make in India kind of thing. So let's go ahead with that. And at the end, since the time is passing by, but there is a lot to speak over this, but we have to actually end the session. So at the end, I would like to thank especially for the patient audience, so who have been so long with us and have a very patient listening and have benefited from this webinar. I'm also grateful to Dr. Planivelan, who has actually from his very scheduled time has shared their time to share all these the research they have done and how we can take it further in a scalable model in India. Not only the research, but how we can also train along with them the various trainers to make it a more human, to make it more so that we have more manpower who could work upon this sector and take it further. I would also request, thank you, Mr. Siddhit from Apex and Dr. Goenka for their valuable time and the vision how this particular sector can go ahead with more vision and more collaborations with each other. And I think everybody has been benefited from their learning. I'm also thankful to Colonel P.S. Gupta, our Vice President, who has been a continuous mentor to Agriculture Skill Council of India for taking this knowledge series ahead. And I'm grateful to Dr. Stendra Singh Arya, who is CEO of Agriculture Skill Council of India. Without his continuous motivation and mentoring, this would have not been possible. And I would also like to thankful to all the entire ASCII team who has been behind these curtains for all management of all these knowledge series which have been happening. Thank you one and all for the participation. Thank you so very much. Thank you, sir.
So thank you, ma'am. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.